Doing a little bit of behind the scenes or how-to for the making of this video. This took 4 months to make, believe it or not. I was only one guy, so I just had to find a way to make it work. And I was in the process of an intercontinental move from the US to India. If you're like, what in the world are you moving to India for? There's a link in the description explaining that whole thing. I don't want to go into it in this video. One day I'll make a video talking all about that. But news article tells the whole story. So I want to start from the basics here and give you just a little bit of background, maybe help you with some of your own projects. Hopefully some of these can be applied to your own projects. They don't have to be rap battles, but some of the principles can apply, I believe. While I was in Chicago, just a few days before coming to India, I stopped at a Goodwill and found this, Comedy Writing Secrets. This was written back in the 80s. There's the guy right there. Melvin Helitzer. Usually when it says secrets in the title, it's never a good sign because they're usually trying to tell you 5 quick steps to, shortcut your way into fame. However, this has really been practical and helpful. And one of the exercises he encouraged is to just get out a piece of paper and write about your subject matter. Everything that you can think about your subject matter. Jokes, rhymes, descriptive words, and then see if you can mix these things together and come up with some new material. So I had this idea for a rap battle between Goku and Superman. I just started brainstorming some ideas on paper, Goku and Superman's, wrote everything I could think of. So I did that exercise and able to pen the verses in within a day or two of getting the book. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to force yourself to sit in front of the computer screen or sit in front of a notebook and just write out every idea, type out every idea, just get stuff down and then start rearranging until you come up with stuff. When it comes to writing rhythms and really performing them, I'm not always the greatest at that. So I went to YouTube and started doing some searches for tutorials in LMMS. If you don't know about LMMS, it's a song creation program much like Fruity Loops, except it's open source. There's this guy LMMS dude. He only has 3 videos up on YouTube, but this one in particular I found to be very helpful. It's called How to Make a Uplifting Trance Bass on LMMS with a Triple Oscillator. So that's what LMMS dude came up with, and this is what I came up with. So mucho thanks to LMMS dude, check him out, and check out any of these great tutorials on LMMS. Download the program, it's a great tool to have. I'd had this song, or this piece that had been floating in my head for, I don't know, 1.5 years, 2 years, and I played it for some people, and I thought it was kind of cool, but it just didn't go anywhere. That's the great thing about hip-hop. Hip-hop often will take melody out of a larger song and just take that one little part and then plug it into a remix and just use it over and over and over and over. So that piece that I'd been working on was perfect for hip-hop, and I thought, well, I'll just take one of the phrases that I had that just basically went in a circle and I didn't know what to do with it next and plug it into this. And so that's what I did and ended up playing this. So I finished the backbeat by the time I got to India. I was staying at a friend's house while we were trying to find our own place. So I needed to record the violin part, so I just recorded it on this, Zoom H2. And I was doing this upstairs at our friend's house, and he has this parrot. And if you listen carefully, even in the actual final mix, you can hear this squawking sound. And it's the parrot downstairs. Jericho, that bird is loud. What's kind of cool is, I was listening to it, and it almost sounds like he's squawking in time with me. I got Goku done and working on Superman now, and this costume is just, but I look ridiculous in it, and that's one of the reasons I put off doing this. It feels very embarrassing. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get my own green screen. I've needed one for a while, just go ahead and break it out. I couldn't find one to buy from anywhere. I started going to like bedding stores and seeing if they had some big green sheets. Nobody had a color that was correct. So I went to a textile store, Sharada Textiles in Atta Market. Found the right color for me, and we ended up, took us a couple weeks of doing because there was some miscommunication, but ended up getting 3 meter wide links of fabric and stitch them together. Actually, I couldn't find like real stage light kind of thing or film light, so I got basically what amounts to the floodlights you put in front of your house. Here's the light. There's that light. So we got 3-point lighting system that's not really ideal 3-point lighting system because our third light, our backlight, is this little tiny one. And ideally, I probably should have a pink gel on it and probably be a little brighter so it could set me apart from the green background. I have definitely noticed the green spill when I'm keying, especially my hair, like on the Goku shots. It's kind of a mess in there. But what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? Paper on this chair is for white balance, and then this is for focus, because this tiny screen on the DSLR is sometimes very hard to tell if it's in focus or not. Problem is now the light's like literally 3 feet away from my face, so it's just going to be like uber bright and uber hot. I don't have any makeup or anything, so it's just gonna be like ridiculous shininess. For the backgrounds, I used some stuff from Envato.com and their specific focus for video is called Video Hive. The second one, the one that we use in the Superman here, is called Mystical Depth by Dan and Molt. It happened to be their freebie that day, and it was just perfect. The color scheme was perfect. Twisted Particle Strings by VKR, which ended up being only like $5. So check out Video Hive. They're comparatively cheap from what I can tell. I looked at a couple other places. It's like $50 minimum. I usually just can't afford that for projects that I'm not immediately getting paid for. So check out Video Hive, Envato. It's a good resource there. If you're unfamiliar with Andrew Kramer at this point, you probably just haven't done any compositing at all, or you were doing compositing long before Andrew Kramer's out. But for most of us who just started out in After Effects, Andrew Kramer has become like the guru for us. And again, he helped here with his Trim Compose script. You can look that tutorial up. Be a link in the description as well. And what that does is basically I've got an effects intensive shoot here. So it's about 50 shots total, and they're all effects shots. It'll end up being ridiculous if you've worked in After Effects. You have 50 shots, and then you're going to have to compound that with all these other effects layers and adjustments layers and stuff like that. So you end up with 100 layers. You get to edit pretty close to being finalized before you bring it into After Effects. You bring it into After Effects, enable his Trim Compose script, and it makes all these shots their own compositions up front. And it also adds that you can have handles of 8 frames on either side, so if you need to fudge a little bit, you can still do that without too much trouble. So, can't say enough about Andrew Kramer. Well, that's about it. Hopefully some of this has been helpful and constructive. Got any questions or comments or requests? I'd love to hear them. Hope you continue to enjoy the channel. Thanks for tuning into this very long video. All right, and remember, keep it creative, keep it quality, keep it constructive, YouTube. Thanks, guys.